Abdullah. Mr. Abdullah.
As what I have learned nominally, that nominal is categorizing and about category and ordinal is right.
So, thank you, and that's correct. So, nominal is all about a categorical variables, while ordinal naman is ordered or nakarank siya. Next is who can differentiate interval versus ratio regarding regarding the zero. So, Nikki.
So, yung interval is no true zero. And yung ratio is zero.
Thank you, and that's correct. So, the difference between interval and ratio is that interval has a true value of 0, while yung ratio is walang value yung 0. But before we go in our activity, let's have a quick recap kasi pinasadahan ko lang yung sa video ko. So, here are the correlation of types of scores yung kanina sa report na kay Razet versus yung correlated niya sa level of measurement. So, first is the row score. So, ang description ng row score is the total number of correct response earned from a test. So, bakit siya naging ratio? Kasi may possibility na yung student is makakuha siya ng 0 na score. So, if 0 yung score niya, sabihin hindi niya na-master yung content na lesson. Next is the percentage score. So, yung percentage score is the row score naman na i-convert lang siya sa percentage. And same lang din ang explanation sa row score na maging ratio siya kasi if ang row score mo is 0 and may equivalent siya sa percentage na 0. Next is the standard score. So, it transform row score in z-score or t-score. Ito z and t-score kasi discuss kasi ito yung handy. So, wala pa tayong advanced na halaman dito. But, based on my understanding, for example, yung row score ng student is 18. And yung equivalent example lang ha, sa z-score is, for example, z2. And doon bakit siya naging interval is malalaman mo sa Z1 kung gaano siya kalayo doon sa may average niya. Well, same lang sa may scaled score also is, ang pinagkaiba niya lang is yung scaled score is compare siya ng performance ng students. For example, yung sa row score is, ang score ng student is 18 and then sa second quiz is naging 20 na. So, ibig sabihin, may improvement sa score ng student. Next is the holistic score. So, yung holistic score naman assess the overall quality or judgment
score is ratio.
Okay.
Kasi ratio dun sa sinabi ko
Thank you. And that's correct. The last is the standard score. So, answer. Miss Rachel.
Standard score ng third one.
Bakit?
Kasi ano, 0 has as third one has nga 0 has
Thank you. Pero, standard score, bakit naging, bakit appropriate yung ordinal sa interval? It's because nga, yung sinabi ko kanina, malalaman mo kung gaano, kung ano yung, gaano kahaba or kaliit yung advantage niya sa average. Kagaya mo sa Z1 na score, for example, ang Z-score niya is 1 and yung sa average is nalalaman mo kung gaano siya kalayo ba or kalapit sa may average score yung Z1 niya na score. So, why understanding this alignment is important? Because first, it promotes accurate data and interpretation. Like the different types of level of measurement, it allows different statistical analysis. Second is, it is appropriate use of statistics. Kasi using statistical methods can lead your interpretation into a invalid, it can lead to a valid conclusion. Next is sa educational assessment naman, it promotes meaningful assessment decision kasi knowing the types of scores of the students, it can help to determine on how to interpret the students' performance and to track their progress. Next naman is for research, it promotes validity and reliability kasi yung researcher must choose the right level of measurement to have a valid and reliable assessment. Next topic will be the types of measures of central tendency. So we all know naman is na yung mean is we need to get the average. Median is yung middle value or yung middle score niya. While yung mode is yung how frequent the data occurs in the situation or in the problem. Here's the alignment of level of measurement sa measures of central tendency. So first, nominal, we all know na yung nominal is a categorical. And yung mode lang ang appropriate doon kasi sa median and sa mean, it is used as a numerical naman, diba? Kasi to get the middle value and to get the average. So hindi siya pwede ma-appropriate sa nominal kasi categorical lang yung nominal. While yung sa ordinal naman, hindi siya appropriate for the mean kasi naka-order naman siya, hindi mo na siya need na ikunin yung average niya. While ang sa interval and sa ratio naman, same lang, you can use the mode, median, and mean kasi pwede mo naman makita sa yung how frequent na nag-appear yung data sa interval and sa ratio. And yung median, pwede mo lang din naman na makuha yung middle value ng dalawa. And sa mean naman, pwede mo din na makuha yung average nila. Ang pinag-iba lang is yung sa interval, it has a true zero, while yung sa ratio is walang value yung zero. Next is yung differences nila sa isa't isa. So in terms of definition, from the word central tendency, it describes a central or typical value for a data set, while yung level of measurement naman, it describes how data is categorized, ordered, and quantified. While yung examples naman nila is given naman kanina yung mean, median, mode, sa central tendency, while nominal, ordinal, interval, masasabi mo talaga na negative siya kasi mas mataas yung mode sa kanilang factor. And to sum it up, here are the factors in choosing the members of central tendency kasi connected din naman sila. So first factors is the level of measurement. So ito na yung sinasabi ko kanina na may mga limitations. Kasi yung nominal, it is appropriate lang siya sa mood kasi nga categorical lang yung nominal. And ang sa ano naman, ang sa ordinal naman, it is median lang siya kasi ang sa ordinal is median lang, while yung sa interval and ratio kahit pwede sila na tatlo depending on the factors. Next factors is the shape of distribution. If it is normal distribution, yung measures of central tendency na appropriate is the mean. Why? Because ang mean is because ang data sa normal distribution kahit distributed siya pantay-pantay, and you cannot get the median kasi in normal distribution walang outliers, and you have to use mode naman kasi hindi mo naman pwede na use multiple times yung data. Next is in the presence of outliers. So mean is not appropriate for outliers kasi nga affected siya, while yung median yung mas appropriate kasi nag-resist ng outliers yung median. And sa type of data naman, ang categorical data naman is mode lang, while ang continuous data naman is the median and the mean. So now, naintindihan niyo?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you really understand, let's answer the activity 3. Kindly read the direction.
Identify which measure of the central tendency, mean, median, or mode is the most appropriate to the given data. State whether the statement is true or false. Write in the 1/4 sheet of paper.
So who can answer the number 1? So I would read it first. In a data set of household incomes with 1 millionaire, the mean is the best measure of central tendency. Is it true or false? Miss Laha?
It's false.
Why?
Kasi mas appropriate na gamitin is median kasi yung sabi mo nga kanina kapag may outlier is hindi appropriate ang median ang mas appropriate.
That's correct. Thank you. So, di ba, yung sabi ko nga kanina, yung median is nag-resist siya ng outliers, while yung mean is affected siya sa extreme values. So, next, number 2, the mode is the most appropriate measure of central tendency looking at the most common shoe size code. So, one answer. Mr. Alvarado.
It's true.
Can you define what is mode?
Kasi as what you have said kanina, how frequently, kung gaano siya na kadalas na gawin mo, like for example sa namin, gaano siya kadalas na nakita or nasabi. So, dyan na most common size. Yan yung keyword na din.
Thank you. Definitely yes. So, hindi ko na kailangan explain kasi understandable naman. And number 3, the median is the track. Any question?
Wala is mode talaga hindi mean.
No, not mean kasi we have a keyword na the most common shoe size. So,
Average man yun.
now, number 3, the median is not affected by extreme values, making it suitable for skewed distribution. Who can answer? Mr. Yomao? How did you say?
Diba pag means affected siya sa true value at sa extreme value, so pag median, one man siya, nag-contain siya sa mga outlier. So, hindi siya affected.
What's your answer again? True or false?
True.
So thank you, but definitely it is false. Kasi nga, the median is
classroom assessment or beyond classroom assessment?
It can be both, ma'am. Kasi sa additional assessment, ma'am, magagamit natin siya, ma'am, sa thesis nga kasi kailangan natin ng accurate na level of measurements para malaman, para yung pag-interpret natin is tama yung pag-interpret ng data.
This is actually paano ito? Meron ba itong connection sa pag-improve ng instruction? Ito pinag-aaralan natin interpretation and analysis of assessment results. Ito, ang topic niya. Analysis and interpretation of assessment results. Meron ba siyang kinalaman sa instructional improvement? We need to talk about this kasi para ma-establish natin yung significance kung ba't natin ito pinag-aaralan. Diba? So what if I know or I don't know about social median mode, levels of measurement, types of scores, interpretations of these scores? Connect natin siya doon sa main concern natin, classroom assessment. So, meron pa pinalaman dito sa instructional improvement. Ano ba yung application nito? Measures of central tendency, levels of measurement. Pwede mag-comment kayo kung meron kayong idea sa ilalim ng application. Meron pa? Imagine ninyo, put yourself in the shoe of a teacher. Saan nyo ba gagamitin itong pinag-aralan na ngayon? Kasi pag hindi nyo masagot, parang ano ba pinag-aaralan natin ito, di ba? Ano ba ito for the sake of value? Sige, Joshua. Joshua.
I think, ma'am, the significance of interpretation, assessment results is connected siya sa para mas ma-improve yung instruction as a teacher mo, as a teacher ako. Bawa, nagpa-quiz ako sa mga student ko, tapos napansin ko na baba ang score nila, so how can I improve? So, through that interpretation, mababa ang mga score. So, interpretation mo na to siya na mababa ang mga score na student mo. So, ano ang action mo? Ano yung mga action na dapat mo gawin? So, as a teacher, so, through sa score sa mga students, so, magamit mo siya para mas ma-improve ang pagtudlo mo, like, i-improve mo kung siguro hindi clear ang pagtudlo ko. So, I need to be more specific when I give example to make my student understand what I'm really saying. So, pero mas maintindihan lang ang concept. So, siguro hindi clear ang concept. So, that is why mababa ang score nila. So, next time kung magpa-quiz ka or sa exam, sa summative or sa formative, mas ma-improve mo na yung instruction mo or kung basta ganito hindi clear yung concept na ito. So, mas ma-improve mo siya through the scores of the student.
Okay, so what specific statistical analysis would give you an idea na hindi isa pa. Halimbawa, yung score ng mga estudyante ko. Ano ang average?
Average.
Yung average, yung mean score. Okay, so, halimbawa lang nakita ng teacher out of 100 percentage. Ang mean ay 50. 50 over 100. So, ano gagawin kaya ng teacher kung pag ang mean ay 50? Okay na ba yun? Mean ay 50. Ang mean ay 50. So, 50% lang yung overall, like a single, di ba, representation of the score of the whole class, tapos 50% lang. Tapos kung passing mo ay 75, medyo malayo siya sa passing, no? Okay, at least makagawa ka ng, makapag-reflect ng teacher. So tama yun na banggit ni Joshua, makapag-reflect ng teacher, ano ba yung naging problema? Okay, so, analyzing what caused the low performance of the students. So, kung pwedeng, una sa instruction, kung pwede rin something's wrong with my test, with my exam. So, titingnan din ng teacher. Itong ibang mga ginagawa actually natin class, ang mas application nito ay research. So, kung ang teacher, meron naman siyang ginagawa na action research. Pwede rito, no? Yung research talaga na para meron siyang ma-improve sa mga estudyante niya at hindi lang dahil ni-require ng school na gagawa ako ng action research. Ganun kasi minsan nangyayari hindi natin nakikita yung kahalagahan na pinapagawa sa atin. You will experience that when you go through yung magre-reklamo ka na lang kasi ang dami-dami pinapagawa. The problem there is that hindi mo kasi naiintindihan bakit yan pinapagawa. So it's important for us to be able to understand. So, kasi for example, you do the action research. So, kailangan ninyo itong paano mag-interpret ng information ng data. At ang pinaka ginagamit natin na data ngayon, scores, sa cognitive assessment, pwede rin affective assessment ng score. Alright? Sige, may mga din na-discuss tayo actually na I think medyo advanced dun sa may dapat may mga naunang discussions. Halimbawa yung mga Z-score na examples kanina, mas ma-appreciate nyo siguro yung discussion ngayon kapag na-take up yun ng alright? So, isa sa gusto kong i-focus yung klasa ng iba't ibang klase ng score. Iba't ibang klase ng score, ano yung advantage ng isa, limitation, paano siya makunan ng isa, another type of score naman, you have to remember that. Hindi ko alam kung na-discuss niyo ba yung difference ng na-connect ba siya sa norm at saka criterion reference interpretation? Ha? Kay Shine? Norm at saka criterion reference. Okay. Kailangan din namin kasi yung i-connect sa norm reference at saka criterion. When it comes to classroom assessment, ano na nga yung ginagamit natin interpretation? Ano dapat na interpretation? Norm or criterion? Criterion. Alright, why criterion? Why criterion? And why not norm? Like bakit nga criterion? Sige na. What's criterion? Zero. Ngiti-ngiti ka dyan. Bakit criterion? Sabihin nyo nga sa kanya kung ano nang pinagagawa sa cellphone niya. explain niyo sa kanya ang tanong ko.